What is going on, everyone? Today we're talking about the RTX 3080 Ti versus the RTX 4080. That is not currently out yet, but we can do some napkin math, and some benchmarks have already leaked out from Mechasize GPU, as well as VideoCards.com, that we can kind of extrapolate from a little bit. Let's get a little bit wild. So before I share anything, grain of salt, everything I'm about to say, because the graphics card isn't out yet. Also, I'm in a hotel, so I don't even have any 4080s or 3080 Ti's to test. So everything, the whole video, grain of salt. All right, let's get into it. So I've dug up around the internet all the little charts and the benchmarks from Mechasize GPU for 4K and 1440p. And also, I grabbed a bunch of numbers from Hardware Unboxed, VideoCards.com when the 3080 Ti released and when they did the reviews on it. So that's where these numbers are kind of coming from. And I tried to match them up the best I could because they're on different, whatever the hardware was at that time is different from the hardware that's available, right now. As far as the CPU and stuff is confirmed or not confirmed, as far as the CPU and everything. So this is just napkin math, just adding in the percentages, the differences, stuff like that. Very basic, very very grain of salt. Now keep in mind the 4080 hasn't technically released yet, so there's no day one driver or anything like that. So these numbers could actually improve. Well, they're definitely going to improve because they have the day one drivers. So give or take the differences here. So starting at the price point, we don't really know the price point at all. We don't know. We're guessing it's going to be $1,200 because Nvidia, they like to kind of up their price a little bit because they consider, since they have the leading ray tracing performance, they have DLSS. It's going to be 3.0 and everything, and they have stuff like that that they can kind of charge a little bit higher. And Nvidia. So who knows? Who knows what the pricing is actually going to be? But I just guess 1,200 from previous kind of things. The 3080 Ti, from what I've been browsing, brand new, about $800. On eBay, it can go a little bit cheaper. And of course, when the 3080 comes out, it's going to be people will be throwing away their 3080 Ti's and everything because they think all their hardware is obsolete. So you can probably pick it up for like 650, 700 ish. Probably less the more time goes on, like give or take, like 2 or 3 months. So all added away, we're gonna start at 1440 feet per 1440 feet fee 1440p first. Like I can't talk today. So Forza Horizon 5. So this is from, so I have the 4080 on the left and the 3080 on the right. 3080 Ti. Just so we know which one is which. So the RTX 4080. Now this is from Mechasize GPU. He did the in-game Forza Horizon benchmark. So give or take, kind of what that has to entail. In-game might be a little bit different, but benchmark to benchmark. This is how it is. 155 FPS average at 1440p, highest detail, versus the 3080 Ti's 113 FPS average, highest detail, 1440p. 37%. 37% difference between that. Would you feel that in game? Uh, yes, yes. I would say yes because if you're trying to drive home, let's say most people probably have a 1440p, 144 hertz monitor right now. You would definitely feel the dips because you would definitely be dipping below 100 FPS when you get to certain areas because 133 FPS average, so it's not going to stay that locked across the game. If you drop your hertz down to 120, you probably wouldn't feel it as much. But at 144, which most monitors are, at 1440p, it wouldn't. I mean, it's probably not the best. Now, ray tracing is on for both of these. I think ray tracing on Forza Horizon 5 is on high. So, of course, if we turned ray tracing off on the 3080 Ti, you would get a performance increase. Same with the 4080 as well. But you can kind of see uh, the performance increase, like FPS and everything. It has a lot to do with whether or not ray tracing is on versus off with these new RTX cards, because they went a sizable increase on the ray tracing performance on this next generation coming up. Well, I guess technically it's already out, but you know what I mean. So yeah, 37% average. But look what you have to pay. Theoretically, $1,200 from your 3080 Ti if you already have one. Now, I didn't calculate if you already have a 3080 Ti right now, and then you go and sell it to your friend or eBay or OfferUp or whatever, and you can kind of cut the difference from there. Then, I mean, hey, sure, sure. If you're gonna go ahead and upgrade like that, which I know a lot of people do, you guys do that. You guys, sell off your old stuff, get the new stuff. If you see that it's worth it to you and like the features and everything, why not? The deal would be pretty mute at that point. But if you're getting brand new right now and you don't want to sell off your stuff, I mean, not too crazy. Now it does get better. Let me get this races up. It does get better at Modern Warfare. This is Call of Duty. Now this is using their in-game benchmark. So the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare has like a little in-game benchmark thing. This is using that. Uh, so grain of salt that as well. I mean, it's okay, but it's not like you are actually in the game playing. It's just like a little demo kind of thing. So 161 to 140, only 15% difference on this one. So with this, Call of Duty is very, from what I hear and what I've seen from the gameplay and everything, it runs on a potato. Like it's super optimized. This new Call of Duty, they Activision, say what you want, but they went through the ringer on optimizing this game because it gets FPS, from wherever. So if you're on a 3080 Ti, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. And you start turning on ray tracing stuff like that, things might not be too crazy. Far Cry 5, 173 to 136. Like I said, most people you guys are running 1440p, 144 hertz, so you would just lock it to your VSync. 4080, hypothetically, wouldn't have anything to worry about. You'd be good. Same thing with Call of Duty. You'd be good. Even on 3080, you'd be good. So, I mean, a 136, I mean, you're basically almost there. Well, I mean, still 27% slower, but we're not going to talk about that. But basically, it's a few FPS. So, I mean, what are you chasing out here? Next game. Now, I thought about removing Cyberpunk, like removing the outliers here, but going back on it. So we're going to Cyberpunk right now. Going back on it, it's important to show this because Cyberpunk is super demanding. Like it is like that next gen kind of game for what kind of ray tracing they have in the stuff. So it's a good way to see if a company does go this far with what they want to do, that it would, the scaling. So if all you played is Cyberpunk, like you have like 900 hours in Cyberpunk, it might be worth the difference if you're gonna sell off your old stuff and get the 3080 or whatever, or the 4080. I mean, if you're gonna sell it off, you know, because 63% is pretty good, pretty good, at least for that game. That's only one game. Now going on to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm not really sure why people. Is that the newest one? Isn't Valhalla the newest one? I don't know why people benchmark Odyssey so much, but uh, here it is. So, from what I know about Odyssey, it does not go. It doesn't play too well on Nvidia hardware for some reason. Like it plays well on AMD hardware. I think it's an AMD sponsored game. That's probably why. But they even on AMD sponsored games, usually Nvidia hardware kind of just brute forces it, and they do all right job. But this game, yeah, it's all right. Only 30% on this game. Not the biggest we've seen. Not the worst, not the best. All right. So the overall average, now this is just from basic napkin math, is 34% at 1440p. Just with those 5 games. Now, if you tested like 98 games, the averages will probably, I mean, not probably, they definitely will, go up or down. But that's just that. With these 5 titles, this is what you get. So 50% difference with my hypothetical, $1,200 price tag on the 4080. Not looking too great unless you play Cyberpunk with ray tracing on. Then I don't know, maybe. And even then, I mean, if you're getting above 60 in Cyberpunk, you're pretty much fine anyway. It's not like it's a single player game. It's an esports game. It's not like esports or anything. So, yeah. Going on to 4K, this is where you're going to see the 4080 really stretch its legs at 4K. 1440p, unless you guys are going to play everything on ray tracing, yeah, I think you're probably good until like the next refresh, like when they maybe 4080 Super or 4080 Ti or 5080 even if you already bought brand new like a couple months ago, which I know a lot of people bought a lot of graphics cards because the prices they've been coming down. So, you know, 4K. We're at 127 for Forza versus 87. This is for 4K. Now that is kind of steep, Still, Forza's a racing game. I mean, you're driving a car, right? You're driving a car. I think you'll be all right with 90, personally. But if you're on that one, well, I guess 4K would be 120, right? People usually do. I don't think a lot of people have 4K 144 unless you have something with a lot of beef. You usually do 4K 120, or even 4K 60 at that point because you're more into single player games, immersive. So I mean, driving. If you're on a 4K 120, you're probably all right. You're probably all right. I mean, it's gonna be smooth regardless. But 4080 though, yeah, it blows the water out of this one. Go ahead and erase this. Now this is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. A lot of benchmarkers love this game. The benchmark it. Never played it. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's good or not. People. I mean, it seems like it's all right. But you're at 129 to 81. 59% increase on the averages. Now, one thing I couldn't really get from a lot of these people is the 1% lows, because how smooth it is important to the experience as well. Not just averages. So we'll have to wait until the graphics card actually comes out. We can get it in our hands. Well, not me. I'm broke. I'm in the hotel. But other people to get it in their hands. And if you buy it, you can get it in your hands. You can see the averages and the lows and stuff like that. But regardless, almost 60%. Again, this is a single player game, 4K 81 FPS. You're good. But it might dip, let's say, to 65, 70, or whatever. It might hitch or something. So, you're going to kind of feel that. So yeah, this thing definitely at 4K. It has kind of it's got some grunt. Red Dead Redemption 2, 99 to 74. Um, fine, I guess. Fine, fine. I mean, Red Dead single player experience. I mean, if you're playing multiplayer, you kind of want a little bit higher frames, so you can whatever in multiplayer, whatever you do. So, hmm, I mean, 33%. Believe it or not, within in this 5 game average. Well, I guess you get because you have to believe it with a grain of salt, mind you, with a grain of salt. It is the best difference that we have so far. So Red Dead doesn't really care. If you're a Red Dead gamer, you can probably stay on your 3080 Ti. You're good. Cyberpunk. We kind of knew this was coming. So mega sized GPU in his Cyberpunk benchmark. He's using the in-game benchmark on Cyberpunk, which is already kind of sketch because from what I've heard from a lot of people, what I've seen, it doesn't really utilize a GPU. Like, well, it utilizes it, but it's not indicative of like in-game performance. Like, I'd rather someone go somewhere and stand on the street or drive around than to use Cyberpunk benchmark. So this is the most dump truck game of a grain of salt you can possibly have with when people use the Cyberpunk in-game benchmark. But it's a number. It is a number. So hey, it's better than nothing. But I wouldn't base any of your purchases off of this. Anything Cyberpunk related with the in-game bench with the built-in benchmark, it's pretty bad. That being said, 83 to 51. Cyberpunk is the most brutal game we have to play, at least right now, in this like little benchmark thing. And Mega Size GPU, he has DLSS on auto in his thing. It's on auto. So who knows what it is when it does the benchmark. I wish he just had it off completely, would be the best case scenario. Or on some kind of preset so I can like match it to that one. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows what it is? But with that being said, 83 to 51. That's it's not good if you're a 3080 Ti gamer and you want to get down to Cyberpunk at 4K. You're gonna turn down some settings, or drop it to 1440p, and you're good. But if you're already playing Cyberpunk, you probably already know this already. So pretty pretty big gap. And then last title here is Modern Warfare. This is the new one that came out, the 20 well, it literally came out a couple days ago. But you know what I mean. The not new rebrand Modern Warfare. Now this is also using the in-game benchmark in Modern Warfare. 100 FPS versus 71. Um, Usually for Modern Warfare, you want to play kind of competitive. You're trying to do multiplayer and everything, so you probably wouldn't run 4K. And if you did, you would probably run it with like competitive settings, so it would kind of look like crap. So this is what everything kind of cranked up. So even this is not really real world performance. But if you want it to look really good while you're shooting people, 100 FPS, fine, I guess. Fine. You usually want to be as high as possible, but versus 71, I feel like you can get away with it. Now it might dip though. It might dip. You gotta worry about that. But other than that, the overall difference for 4K is 48%. 48%. Now, this is a grain of salt. There's no official drivers out right now. The car's not even out yet. So, at least in this 5 game little thing, if you're doing only 4K, or better yet, if you have a 4K 60 hertz monitor, like a really good one, you know, maybe, maybe the 1440, maybe the 4080, the 4080 is the play. But I feel like if you have 4K 60 hertz monitor, you probably already have a 3090 or a 3090 Ti, and you're probably already good with that. Like you don't even need to do anything. So you're already doing your VSync and everything. So who cares? Now the difference at 1440p is even worse value. It's only 34%. Ugh. I mean, you can literally just turn shadows down to from ultra to high, and probably reduce that by like 10%, or ultra to medium, and you wouldn't even really notice anything, and reduce that again to like maybe like 5%. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. So looking at the prices again, these are the theoretical prices. I think the 3080 Ti's are going to be 650 on eBay or like secondhand offer up, whatever. When these cards are out in production and people getting their hands on them, and they don't immediately sell out, because they always immediately sell out for like the first like 3 months. When they get readily available, people can literally go down to Best Buy and grab one. It's gonna be like 650, and all the whole stack is going to shift after that. After these cards release, after the 4070 releases like next year, after AMD brings out their nonsense, everything's gonna shift. So everything's gonna be super cheap. Well, I say cheap, but that's still a lot of money. But cheaper, I should say, cheaper. Honestly, I'll just wait. Especially if you're on a 3080 Ti right now, right this second, and you're not playing 4K. What? Why? Why? For what? Or even, and the value is even worse if you're on the 3090, and because basically there's no reason to even upgrade at all. You're getting literally worse performance, unless what is it called? Unless ray tracing is like destroys it, or the DLS 3.0. Like it's not even in anything right now. Well, I think it's in like one thing, but I think it's in Spider Man. But who cares? Single player. Look, I don't know. I don't know about this launch, guys. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, Hardware is kind of reaching a point where how fast do you really need to go in these games? Like unless you're literally like making like unless your game is like super unplayable and you want to play at a certain FPS and resolution, sure. But if you're happy for like what you're playing on, and it's fine, like it works, you get to sit down and play, you have to worry about anything. You're good. You're good. Hardware's done. Honestly, like the 3080 and 3090 gamers, you probably don't even have to even upgrade for the next like 3 or 4 years. Easy. Probably more than that. You're just good. I mean, being real, unless all the indie devs and AA devs or the AAA devs just go crazy on it, and like everything requires a 4090 Ti to run it. Which, I mean, come on, no, 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 no. Have you seen the overall Steam things? How the 1060 and the 20 the what am I trying to say? The 1060 and 2060 are still like the highest, like the most played on GPUs still. Like today, like they have like was it like over like 80%, or at least 70% people. You're good. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of flail my arms. This this video. I don't know, but that's all I got. That's all I got. Um, I guess we'll have to see what AMD brings to the table with their. I mean, we already know their pricing and everything, but like maybe further down the stack, we'll see what they bring. Yeah, hardware is kind of just it. I mean, it's kind of just the same. Yeah, well, a lot of it's always kind of the same. I mean, what's the point of upgrading? Yeah, everything runs good. You're good for next like 4 years probably. That's the end of the video. Kind of a sad note, but um, cool. I mean, do all the stuff down there, down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.